Hello and welcome back to the Fit and Fabulous NEH podcast. I apologize, we have taken a temporary break. It's been, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks since we have had a recording, but we've all been pretty busy. We've had things going on, so we just decided not to record for a few weeks. But we're back. I'm really excited about today's podcast. Dakota just came off of like a few national shows. My mom is jumping into prep for her. I've taken a little bit of time off of stage, not like a ton of time, like literally, by the time I'm back on stage, it'll be like 6 weeks total. So I'm still like full on in prep. So today we're going to be just kind of shooting the breeze, talking about a little bit of our journey and like where we're at in our phase. Dakota, I'll let you start since, you were talking about your last show, what the judges were saying. I think sometimes that's interesting. I know for some of our followers that are on these podcasts, like they don't really maybe fully understand the world of bodybuilding, but like some of the things that we hear as competitors and the feedback. And I do want to preference when we get feedback as competitors, like I don't know about you guys, but I've learned not to take it personal, and I've learned to just be like, okay, like what does that actually mean and how can I improve? And I feel like a lot of women they almost hear it and they're like, doesn't that offend you? And I'm like, no, because I choose to put my body out there and I choose to do this. And so then I need to roll with what they say and what I need to improve. So Dakota, I'll kind of let you talk about what you were saying before I stopped you guys and I said, hey, let's save this for the podcast. So you can go ahead and just start talking about what you were saying.
Yeah, so my show, I competed this weekend. I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I did junior nationals. It was really good. It was really fun. Just the whole experience being in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That was a great place. The show, junior nationals, loved that show. It was just a great experience overall. But my feedback from the judges, what Brooklyn was just talking about, was that I need more glute density. And they even said to me, that could be a filling out thing. But what's interesting is with this show coming into it, I kind of had to figure out some of the things that my body was responding well to with my foods and what it wasn't responding well to. One of those things being is tracking my protein. This is a huge thing that literally has changed. I think the way that my body's been responding is tracking my protein under its cooked weight versus its raw weight. I was tracking it wrong. And I've been tracking it wrong all these years.
When you say you've been tracking it wrong, you were tracking it as the raw weight or the cooked weight?
So I was tracking my cooked protein under the raw weight. So the nutrition label that they give you on the packages of like the raw chicken that you buy at the store.
So for example, if you cook a pound of beef and it's 4 ounces cooked, but technically it's only 2.5 ounces once it's been cooked. So you were weighing it, you were saying, I did it as 4 ounces. I measured it as 4. Okay, yeah. So I do what you figured out. Man, I wish I should tell people. I do tell my clients to do that, but yeah, that's
yeah. All these years that I've tracked, been doing it wrong. And why that's such a big deal. Why that's such a big deal is because it literally was putting me 240 calories. We thought I was right here, but I'm up here. But here's the great thing is,
especially if you're having a lot of high fat meat like beef.
Yeah. So my body, we thought that I was in a deficit at this calorie range, which is fine, right? Either way, my body's adjusted. I'm in that deficit. But when I'm getting that much, I did the math. If I'm confusing anybody, message us. We can help you understand it.
Well, I think to preference what Dakota's saying is you have to understand food has volume to it, and when you cook meat, it loses water and it loses volume. And so if you're not, and this is for people that like, if you're trying to lose that last like 5-10 pounds, this matters. Now
that's when it matters.
20, 30, 40 pounds to lose. Honestly, like at that point, it's a little nitpicky. Like you don't really
exactly
that. But like to preference, like what Dakota's referring to is weighing out her food like raw, and then like, so for example, these are two things you could do. You could, so ground turkey, I'm gonna use ground turkey as an example. You could get your ground turkey. You could say, okay, I have 4 times 4 ounces here. Okay, so you just make 4 patties that are 4 ounces raw, and then you cook them, and those are 4 ounces. Or, you're probably going to say you've done this, and this is what I do. I will get the meat and I'll say, okay, this meat has 5 servings in it, 5 servings total. I will cook it like ground beef or ground turkey, and then I'll put it back on my food scale, and I'll see how much volume I lost in grams, and I'll go 600 grams divided by 5. That's a lot of math, I know, but that's what I do to help me figure that out. I don't know if that's what you
Yeah.
started doing.
What? No,
Or,
I just started tracking it under like its cooked weight. So instead of tracking it under its raw weight, when it says that I'm getting 26 grams of protein for 4 ounces, now for 4 ounces, it's like 35 grams of protein. So I still cook it the same. I weigh it the same. It's the way I'm tracking it that's different. So the second that I started doing that, my body,
I bet.
it it changed. And why this is such a big deal is because we thought, again, we thought that I was down here and I was up here with my food. So I'm eating this extra, I was eating 240 extra calories than what we thought. And so that being said, it was putting my fats 10 grams higher than what we thought, which is a
And
lot.
fats are very calorically dense, like 9 calories per
Yeah.
gram. Not to mention
Yeah.
the extra protein too. So that's you're
No,
getting an extra
that's what I'm getting at. So the extra protein, why that's also a big deal is because that can sit heavy on digestion and your lower abdomen and how it looks and appears. And so that's an issue that I have is lower
So
abdominal distension.
what is your so what was your macro protein total? And then what were you tracking? And then what were you actually eating in reality? Like, so for example, you thought you were having 130 grams, but in reality you were at like 160 grams.
No, exactly. And 10 grams of fat more.
Yeah, that I mean
It
for
was 240 calories higher. So when I think I'm down here, I was up here. I'd rather have that in carbs, because technically at that point my body's adjusted. So I am in a deficit. But the way my body responds to that high of protein, this is why it's important to not have too much protein, is different than how it responds to, having that in carbs
that's very
and the appearance on a body and how you digest it and everything. So crazy.
I actually started doing that I think a few years ago. I started weighing my food out like in raw weight, and it did make a huge difference. I very rarely actually have clients do that unless they're eating a lot of high fat meats. If they're eating
Hmm.
a lot of high fat meat, then I'm like, you know what? Instead of dropping your food, why don't you start like seeing how much it weighs raw, and then like once you cook it, see how much it actually is, and then you can just use that data moving forward. And that's a game changer right there, just because you're right, it is an extra, especially if you're eating a lot of high fat meat. Maybe if you're eating like mostly chicken and like lean fish, it's fine. But if you're eating like for you, I know you eat a lot of steak and like a lot of like higher
Ground
fat
beef.
meats. Yeah, ground beef, like
Yeah.
that adds up really quick. So,
Hmm.
no, I think that's really helpful for listeners too, because again, like this does get nitpicky, but like if we're being really like on top of it, we're really trying to figure out like because let's be real, like when you weigh out a food, you want to weigh it out accurately. If you're going to take those
Hmm.
extra steps to weigh it out, you might as well weigh it out accurately. So I think that's a really good point to bring up, Dakota, because I think a lot of women will listen to this and be like, aha. And then they'll start
Yeah.
doing it, and they'll start incorporating that. I don't have all my clients do that, but my clients that are pretty lean and they
I
want to push that next level of
Yes.
leanness, I'm like, this might be the next step for you. Even though
Yes.
it seems like extreme, it's not extreme. Like, I don't know. It's just being
No, I agree. I think it depends where you're at in your journey and what your goals are and all that things. For me, it was a big switch because then we've always had problems bringing my food high enough to where I fill out without losing my core. And so changing the way I tracked that allowed us to bring my food way up going into this show so that I was filled out the way I needed to be. And even then, the judges' feedback, back to circling back, the judges' feedback was I needed to bring more glute density. And they said it could literally be you need to fill out more. They're like, it's not even like you need more, it's more that you might just need to fill out. And they're like, that's just something you guys will have to play with. But that was one of the things, glute density. And then the other thing was core control. And that's on me. that's something that I need to control, like when I'm in my poses and stuff, is, really focusing on bringing my belly button to my spine and making sure that I'm always activating my core and keeping, and that is something for like even our clients that a lot of women struggle with, that core control. And so that's something I personally need to
I
work
have
on
some
and
things
spend
I
the
can
time
send you
doing.
that helped me a
I
lot.
have stuff. I
Like
have stuff.
like a few like videos
Hmm.
that have helped me this last year with my, because that was my feedback last year too, from like 3 different shows. And I started doing that, and it was much easier for me on stage. If you want them, I can send them
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. Send them over.
Um,
Um, but yeah, anyways, that was my feedback. It was a great weekend. I had such a great time. Got 1 hour of sleep the other night, so I need to get some sleep. And yeah, anyways.
I'm glad you're here though, even though you're exhausted from the lack of sleep. But good job
Yeah, it's
on the
it's been
weekend.
a it's been a hot second that we've all been here. I think this is our first podcast in my new home. So
Yeah, that's
That's
exciting.
right.
Congrats. We'll
Your
talk about that
beautiful
in a
new home.
minute. If we have time, I want to talk about like how you navigated like moving and staying
we
on
can always come
track.
back to it another podcast too.
Yeah, because that's
We'll be here.
I think that's really helpful for women to hear. What's new with you, Mom?
Nothing. Just same old, but I started my prep last week, and so I'm just kind of dialing it in. I know, and I still need to sign up for it, but my goal is Nashville Fit Show. It's one of my favorite that I've done. The stage
That's
is
awesome.
beautiful, like your Chattanooga stage, Dakota, but it's pink and purple, and so it's an all-girls show, so
So
that's going to
pretty.
be fun. And I did the fashion show last time I competed there also. And so I'm still debating on the fashion show, but I got to get my bikini ordered. And anyways, just prep
Are
started
you
last.
gonna switch colors, Mom?
I'm doing hot pink. I've been dying to wear hot pink
That
this
one's
year,
beautiful.
but I did hot pink when I went to Nashville a couple years ago, and
That
I
was a pretty
loved how it
color.
looked on stage, and I just loved the color of it on stage with my hair and the tan, and so I'm doing it. I just have to order it. Yeah, I just have to get all the details down, and then we are headed to Vegas for our
Oh,
anniversary
fun.
Thursday. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to be in prep, but my macros are still pretty high. So I think it'll
That'll be
just
fun.
be balancing it out pretty well. And yeah, I think,
You guys doing like a
just
concert or something, or just hanging out?
we're we're going to the Sphere. We're going to go watch Wizard of Oz when we get
Oh,
there
that'll be
Thursday
fun.
night.
Um,
So that'll be fun. And then we are going to the fun, it's the MGM. They've got all the fun pools. They've got the lazy
oh
river.
yeah.
And that's where we went after COVID, that it was like the first big pool that opened in Vegas. And so I've got all these fun memories of like going around the lazy river and this big, he was a huge guy. He was big and black and he had Fourth of July colors on him and his girlfriend, and he had a big cowboy hat. And so I'm like, I hope he's there. I hope he's there. I get to celebrate. So yeah, it'll just be fun. So a lot of pull time. Have to pack some of my food, but still track and stay in my prep. So it'll be fun. So that's my summer. And yeah, that's it. Just boating a lot. Yeah.
Same.
And that's it. Yeah.
Lots of boating. That's fun. That's fun.
That'll be way fun.
That's hard. It's challenging though. So what are you doing to make sure that you'll be like still on track when you go to Vegas? Like what are some of the things that you're gonna bring with you, or what do
Okay.
you
One
like?
of
How
the
do you
fun
plan
things
your
that
trip?
Dakota discovered was it called a mini crock pot. So I don't trust the oat or the coffee, what are they, the coffee pots anymore. I just don't trust that. The Keurig coffee pots, because we used to do the oatmeal in them, because a lot of the
Okay, I gotta
Vegas
look this
hotels
up.
don't have microwaves. It's a fire
I
hazard.
think it's called My Mini, if that's what you're looking up
My
there.
My
mini.
mini. Yes.
I sent it to you guys, the link. It's
Yes.
literally $13 on Walmart.
Yeah, I went to
My
Walmart
mini
and got
crock
it.
pot. And
It's
you just
just a
No,
put
it's
it on.
not a
mini.
coffee. No, it's a skillet thing, like
Mhm.
a
It's a mini crock pot thing. It's nice.
But you keep saying
Yeah.
crock pot, so I'm confused. Okay, so my mini skillet. Is that what it's called? My
I
mini?
sent you guys the link. Go to messages between me and mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
I
I
find
literally
my
It
sent the
daughter,
like go
link.
off sometimes, and then I get, you guys know I have like a million clients who text me every day, so then I just get lost and I'm like, I don't
yeah,
know what's going on.
it's a great
Oh,
thing.
I
So
see
I'm
it.
going to
I see
take
it
that.
now. Okay,
Well,
so
and
I'm
then
going
you've
to,
got mom's
called,
motivational stuff that she sent.
yeah, it's called, for our listeners, it's called My Mini, and it's literally like, it says My Mini 5-inch noodle cooker, ramen cooker, and electric hot pot.
it's
That's what it's called.
very,
Best $13 ever spent. Best $13.
well, easy to
Cool.
travel with. It's tiny. It's so tiny. So you
So
can do your
It's
what did you
oatmeal.
literally
cook in
this.
it, Dakota?
So I had my paper bowls. I always travel with paper bowls, like for
Mhm.
my shows and stuff, because it's just easier that way. And I would put my meat in it. I'd put my meat in it, and my meat's already pre-cooked, right? And then so I would take the little the skillet thing that it comes with. I'd take that out, and I'd let the heating element part. I'd sit the paper bowl over top, and then I'd put the little cooking thing on top, and it would heat up my meat, because a lot of the hotel rooms that we stay in, they have refrigerators but they don't have microwaves.
Bizarre.
So it allowed me to heat up my foods and have warm food. And then I would cream of rice. My body's been loving the cream of rice, and I was like, you know what, I'm like, it would be nice to be able to have my cream of rice and the foods that I regularly eat at home. And so I would actually put my cream of rice, I would weigh it out, put it in the little skillet part that's removable. I would fill that up and cook it that way, just like you would on a stovetop for cream of rice. And so it literally, it changed it. I like,
You need to do a video of that, like a quick short video, like show
yeah,
people how you do it, and then people
it
will be
was
like, oh,
amazing. Game changer. Best $13 ever spent. If that
Great
thing
find.
broke, I'd go out and buy another one right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great find. I'm traveling with that one to Vegas,
okay.
and I'm taking it on
And you can cook egg
Nashville.
whites in it. You can cook meats in it if you want. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can clean it out. Like, it literally works like a little skillet, and it has like a pan with it. So it's amazing.
That's cool. That's really nice. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
taking that with you, Mom, and then what else are you doing to
I
help you
always
stay on
do my
track, right?
breakfast foods. I will take, I will take some meat, and I haven't quite. I really like sweet potatoes instead of rice lately, so those
Mm.
are pretty yummy. I'll probably just
Mm.
take some ground beef and probably just do my oatmeal in the morning with my protein, and then I will do. I love my cream of rice. I will probably take
Mm-hmm.
that because that I love eating for my third meal. My second meal,
Mm-hmm.
I do eggs and egg whites, cottage cheese, and Dave's Killer Bread. And I Vegas doesn't have. I don't think the place we stay at has anything. So I will. I don't know. I'll have to play with that there. I'll probably take some food that's cooked, and then sometimes when I go out, like for our anniversary, I can find good things, especially where we're in America. And Vegas, it's easy to find restaurants that have food that I like.
So you just
And
kind of like look up ahead of time, like where you're gonna go, and
yeah,
try to
it'll
find
be
somewhere that
easy.
will be good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, so I kind of do half, prepped food, half food I can go at night and eat and just be really careful and tell them no butter, no oil, hold the sauces. My
Mm-hmm.
macros are still pretty high. So we'll see. It changes tomorrow. We'll see. I check in with Evan tomorrow and see where I am with my prep. So, yeah. And I will get all my workouts done before I go. And we'll just be walking around a lot and playing in the pool. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Sounds fun. Sounds like
Yeah,
a good time.
it'll be fun. Just a quick 3-day trip, but it'll be fun. So
So you guys leave tomorrow or Thursday, you said,
we
right?
leave
For the weekend.
Thursday morning, and we'll get there to do the Sphere, the Wizard of Oz at the
Mm-hmm.
Sphere. And then, yeah, the rest of the 2 days will be pool time, and that'll be fun.
That's nice. Well, that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
and
Okay.
I'll probably cook some lunch. I'm not cook some lunch meat, but take some lunch meat too, and
Mm-hmm.
some Dave's Killer Bread. That's always good to take to the pool. So yeah, I haven't quite thought that through. It's like we just booked it last night, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
That's
okay,
fun.
yeah, it'll be fun.
So
Yeah,
going on like quick trips, that's just part of life, and you just got to learn to roll with it and just like, bring stuff with you and just kind of like you know, like Dakota has the little crock pot or whatever, my mini thing. You know, mom, you bring food with you. Um, I do kind of the same thing. So, yeah,
Yeah, you just don't
that's.
want to miss out on life when you're prepping or you have goals in mind. I mean, that's
Well, I think
right.
people do one or the other. They're
Yeah.
either like, I'm going to live life to the fullest, which means I'm going to eat everything and drink everything, and definitely I can't follow a plan. Or I'm strict and I'm 100%. I have to be at home, I have to be a hermit, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything with friends or family or anything. And I feel like people kind of lean in one camp or the other. And I think it's really important to like find a balance in the middle regardless of what's going on, because if you can't find a balance, like your family's probably going to hate that you have goals, your friends probably won't be your friends anymore, and you probably won't go on any trips because you're going to be too afraid to go on a trip. So you've got to learn to like balance it. And I think that's where a lot of women struggle. That's why I'm asking you guys like how you're going through all this. These Dakota just recently moved, which like is crazy. And you didn't just move down the street or across town, like you moved to a different city, hours and hours away, and to a new home. And that's a big shift for a lot of people, like moving, little vacations. I mean, the little vacations add up to be a lot sometimes. Like mom, I mean, I could count every vacation you went on this year. It's probably like 10 or something, right? Like, but you have been like really consistent
Yeah,
on those
never stop.
vacations, and you've brought stuff with you. And I think that's the difference. Is a lot of women, they're either like alcohol and all the food, or they're just like super strict and not enjoying anything at all. And you've got to find this balance, because if you don't do that, like that's how we've all made this into a lifestyle, because we're all kind of, I wouldn't say we're foodies, but we're sugaries. Like we love our sugar and we love our sweets, and we have learned to make this like a lifestyle. But if you don't learn to make it a lifestyle, like you're probably never going to reach your goals, because you're either over here or you're over here. So I'm curious, Dakota and mom, I guess you guys can go back and forth with this, but like,
Well, and
I know
Dakota
for you,
got sick. She got
I
so
know.
sick
Oh, I was so
right
And
sick.
that's
after
That
another
was
thing we
COVID.
miserable.
talk about is like sickness, and like a lot of people when they get sick, they go, fuck it, I'm
She got so
sick. And they go to like McDonald's 3 times a day, and they'll just order, it's like comfort food. And then they just throw, I don't know if you've seen that with your clients, Coda. I have. And I'm like, okay, I know you're sick, but like you don't need to eat fast food every day because
Well, and
you're
the
sick.
thing is when you kind of throw shits to the wind with your nutrition, that's when your nutrition needs to be in check because your body's not going to heal off you eating shitty foods.
Even though it feels, it's like a comfort thing. I know for me, like, mom,
Oh,
what
for
did you
sure.
used to do for us when we were sick? You would like, I remember you would take us to like McDonald's and like
just
Wendy's, and
whatever
like you would
sounded
just,
good.
whatever sounded good, but like, but women do that like for like a week. And then after they do that for a week, then they have like almost another week of that because it's
Well, yeah,
almost like,
because your body craves that.
yep. So I guess let's kind of talk about like how do you guys handle that? How did you handle being sick while moving, while being in prep? I know you're probably like, I didn't handle it great, like 100%, but you at least stuck to your nutrition because clearly you were just able to step on stage. Like you obviously did something right. So let's hear about what you did.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is, I mean, I came home from Pittsburgh and literally that next day I was so sick. And that was the week that we were moving and we were moving on Thursday. So I had a couple days to get my house freaking packed up.
Sucks.
Um, oh my gosh, it was so miserable. So, I have these goals and just because I'm sick, just because I'm moving doesn't mean I'm not going to reach my goals. Now that being said, during that time I had to give myself some grace and be like, okay, if it's not this show, I can wait till another show. The stage is always there. So I actually did have plans to do, I think it was Junior USA's. Um Anyways, I came home from Pittsburgh and for some reason it just didn't feel right. It's like my intuition knew that I was going to get super sick and with moving, like it was just too much. My inner intuition just knew somewhere because I was like, my heart's just not in it. And then weirdly enough, like the next day I was like sicker than a dog. And then I was trying to move. And, moving while you're sick, that probably was a bad combination.
Oh, that's
Bad combination. But here's the thing
You
is
had no
I was
choice.
moving. I didn't have a choice.
moving's so
So
intense. I feel like when you move, it's just like go. Like it's like you just like I don't know, like something kicks in you and it's intense. I remember when we moved and we just moved across town. Like we moved
Oh,
like
it's such a
30
pain in
minutes
the
away.
ass.
It was so intense. Oh, it was so intense. That's
It's
hard coming back.
so much work. And so then you kind of just get to the point when you're moving too. You're like, I don't give a shit. I haven't used this in 6 months. I'm throwing this away. You know?
Yeah,
You just
that's
start
very
throwing
true.
shit away
Garbage,
because you're
garbage,
like,
garbage.
yeah.
Trash, trash, trash.
That's
And then you're like,
me
wait,
and
where's
kids.
that thing? Oh, that's right, I threw it in the trash. It's gone. Gotta buy a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest thing is I was like, okay, at the end of the day, no matter if I'm sick or healthy or moving, whatever it is, my nutrition is number one. Because if my nutrition isn't there, I feel like garbage. So I still tracked my food. I made sure that I was still on point with that. I'm post show. When you're post show, if
Ooh.
you don't have something in plan before you even step on stage, you're kind of screwed, let's be honest,
And
because
your
you can
hunger's
really.
so heightened after a
Mhm.
competition.
Yeah,
It's
Brooklyn,
so
talk about
heightened.
that because that's like an interesting, I guess, topic in itself. How like those your like ghrelin and stuff, like how those get
Well,
so trashed.
physiologically, it makes sense because, like,
Yeah.
when you're a competitor, even if you don't compete, if you're in a caloric deficit and you have this deadline, right? It's kind of like a vacation. Like, okay, you have this deadline and you get so lean and your calories get so low, even if you're eating into a show, you get done and then you have a day after the show or the night of the show that you eat. You eat a lot of food. It's not like you're binging by any means, but you basically just have a caloric surplus. And then because of that, your ghrelin and your leptin hormones are like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like, we were eating, let's say 1,500 calories a day in the last 2 days, or the last 4 days you've been at like 2,400 calories. Oh my gosh, yeah, let's stay here. But the thing that sucks is if you want to continue to get leaner or stay lean, you have to go back to the 1,500 calories. And that sucks. That is my hardest day coming back from a show.
Hmm.
It's not Sunday, but Monday and Tuesday. I'm like, I'm so hungry. Like, I literally just like want to eat everything, even if my food's not that low. So it makes sense why you probably just, that's really hard. Post show's really, really hard. And I think post dieting too is really hard if you've come off
Yeah.
a dieting phase or you're
Oh,
coming
for
off a
sure.
vacation or a trip. The first few days back is really,
Well,
really hard. Psychologically and physiologically,
not
everything's
only
out of whack.
not only that, you've had a taste of like sugar, and your body wants that. Your taste
Yeah.
buds adjust. So like if you are used to these select foods and then all of a sudden you expand it to like that much, my arms are all the way out. But if you like expand that, like you start to crave all those things. But if you jump right back into your normal nutrition, that goes away after a few days.
Yeah, the hard
So
thing is the cue though, what you just said is a few days. And those few days are
those are
rough.
hard.
Those are the
Those
hardest
are
few days because I'm always like, oh my gosh, and it's like my food noise is just so heightened. Like, I like just want everything. But if you can push through that, you're fine.
okay. There's actually something funny about food noise. I think this is a super important topic because I would say most people have or do struggle with food noise at some
100%.
point or another.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a funny topic, not a funny topic, it's a serious topic. But I saw something online the other day about it, and somebody was asking, how do you get rid of food noise? And somebody in the comments, I love reading comments, was like, just treat it like an annoying boyfriend or an annoying ex. See the text message and ignore it. And just be like, that holds nothing to me, and just forget about it completely. And this person was like, that's how I have learned to manage my food noise. Because you get this cue of like, I want to eat, I want to eat. And I've actually been kind of implementing that lately to see how it goes. It works for me, not for everybody, but I think that that's such an interesting thought. Like, recognize that, okay, like I'm craving these things. That's annoying. Push it away, forget about it, and then
I like that.
move on.
I
I
like
think that
that.
that was a funny way to approach it.
But I like that because I feel
That
like a
is a
lot
good
of
idea.
people like get hungry or they have cravings and they feel like it's really urgent. And it's like this urgency and it's like, like precision nutrition always says, hunger is not an emergency, but we live in this world where hunger and cravings, like I'll have
Yeah.
clients who are like, how do you curb your cravings? And I'm like, well, first of all, I will eat something that is sweet. Like if I
Yes.
really like, I do eat like a Hershey Kiss every time I'm done working out, or two or three. But that's all I really have, especially if my calories are really, really low and I'm like trying to cut. But I like that, like, just ignore it, or just be like, okay, I'm hungry. I want this. I've got these goals. Like, my goals are more important. And it's not that you're sitting here and saying, oh, I shouldn't eat because I'm craving this. But yeah, if you're craving a box of 4 crumble cookies, like, is it your period? Or like, just have the conversation with yourself and be like,
Step back.
all right, okay, I am like, I feel like that is a skill though, and it is a skill that
It
has
takes
to be
time.
developed
It does
and
take
worked
time.
on. And you have, mom, so what do you do? Like, you have
Well,
probably worse sugar cravings than I do. I feel like
you
you like have
guys,
like dreams about it, and I'm like, wow. But I do have bad sugar cravings, and
I
I
have
think
sugar
supplement.
dreams. I have
You have
dreams about
sugar dreams.
food, and especially when I'm in prep, and especially when I get closer to
Hmm.
stage, I have dreams about some of the best food, and I have dreams that I accidentally eat
Hmm.
something, and I think
That's the
that
worst.
happens. I know.
I've
And
had
I
those
think that
dreams
happens
before,
when you
actually.
have those goals and you're getting closer and your body's hungry and you're not allowing your body to take over. And so I think that's pretty normal, but okay, for this prep, I've had my free day taken away, and so I've had to um and yeah, it's like you get closer to that free day and you're like, I'm hungry, I'm starving. I want a free day. I want this and this and this. And so this last week, the weekend came around. I'm like, well, can't have that. I just can't have that. And so my macros are still pretty high. So I just dial it in. And you know what? I always track my macros. I had one girl come up to me at the gym and and I'm like, you look so good. Oh my gosh, you're looking so good. And I can really see it. And she's like, thank you. And then she's like, what's some advice you can tell me? I'm like, always track your macros and never give up. Like never give up. Like be consistent. You just keep going day by day. And so
I
that's
told my
my
clients that
biggest,
you track your macros, like, even in the off season, and like even when you're
even if
not
an
competing.
off season, I
And
track
they're
my
like, no
macros.
way. Like, why would she do that? And I'm like, that's how she looks the way she does. I said, my mom
Uh,
likes to look super shredded. And
I
honestly, like,
I
you,
don't let myself get out of control. I mean, I do to a point,
yeah,
but I'll rein myself back in because
you don't let yourself get out of control. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You have locked it in like more than I've ever seen you in our entire life in the
Yes.
last 7 years.
I
You
have
Yes.
really,
goals.
yeah, you have goals. And
I
I
have
think like it's
goals.
important for women to understand that, like, if you have goals, like, I'm sorry, but like if you let your nutrition go just because you feel like it for weeks or months, like, that's a slippery slope. You don't. I feel like for some women, you don't always have to track your food. But if you want to look like you, mom, honestly, yeah, like, to look like you at 57. Honestly, to look like me, to look like Dakota. I mean, I track my food probably 95% of the
Yeah.
year. I
Yeah.
might have like a week where I don't track fully, or a
Hmm.
weekend where I don't fully track, like a holiday. But biggest reason why I track my food, because I will not get enough protein. I for sure know
That's
that.
me.
I will
Yeah.
blow my carbs, and I
Yeah.
will eat too many fats, which that's what most
Hmm.
women do. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think for you, mom, like, women, like, I told like 4 clients that. They're like, "So what does your mom do now? Like, now that she's achieved this?" I'm like, "She still does
She
all the
still
things."
sticks with it. She still
Yeah.
does the thing. She does the
Like,
most.
yeah,
I never
because I
stop.
posted a picture of us at Lagoon, and I was like, "This, my mom looks like this even in the off season." They're like, "So what does she do to like keep looking like that?" I'm like,
She does the most.
"Yeah, she does. She does all this stuff still." And they're like, "Well, isn't that exhausting?" I don't know. Answer that for us, mom. Does it exhaust you to do this?
Okay, that just gives me chills and it makes me kind of tear up because when you've lost it before, you know what it feels. You know how hard it is to come back. And
Yeah.
so being at the age I am, I mean, I've been at this place now. I started when I was 50. I really started training hard when I was 50 and my goal was to step on stage at 51 and I did that. So I'm 57 now, almost 58. Ah! And I keep at it because I love living like this. It's fun to look at myself and look at pictures. And look at the smile on my face because it is work, but you know what? It's all worth it. I mean, when you can walk around with a very healthy, fit body, when you can work through injuries and still eat your nutrition that keeps your body recovering right. Like Dakota got so sick. Like it helped her body recover to eat right. And, and then if you need to give yourself a break or some time off, whether through sickness or an injury, you do that. But I
But
always go to the gym.
it's not throwing all shits to the winds. Like
No,
giving yourself a break might look like, okay, maybe I allow a little bit more food. Maybe I decrease my cardio a little bit. Maybe I decrease the intensity, but I'm still putting in the effort. The
right.
effort is still there. I
And
don't
it,
go out to McDonald's 5 times a day
right.
just because I need a break.
That
Well,
is the
it's
difference, though, I
very
think for you,
intentional.
Mom. That's why you're where you are, is because when you say I take a break, you're more like maybe you just don't track your food for like maybe 1, maybe 2 days. But then you're still eating your normal foods. Like you still have your,
My favorite
egg
food.
and oatmeal pancakes. Like you still do like your, like, I don't know what meals you're eating right now, but like your healthy meals. You don't just go like the other end of the spectrum and just say, oh, whatever, like I'm gonna go to Crumble and I'm gonna have a cookie for each meal and then I'll have a protein shake. Like you don't do that. You might go and have one Crumble cookie, but
That'd
like
be intense.
you still follow all your good habits. And that's why you look so good.
Well, and what's
Uh,
like, should I say this? I'm going to say this because this is my life. Um, I do have a family. I have a husband who um, really doesn't like me. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's changing, but it was Father's Day yesterday, and I made an oatmeal cake with yummy coconut frosting. And I actually tracked that. I allowed myself a little bit of cake batter. I tracked it. I found the macros on my Fitness Pal. I tracked it and I allowed myself to have a treat. I will not
yeah.
sacrifice my life. I will make it work for what I need to and my goals. I still live my life. I still enjoy my life. I just track my macros and make it work the way I need to. I still keep my protein high. I mean, my protein's at 150 to 160 right now. I just make it work. And those treats that I have, I make it work. I make it work in my macros. And I think that's really important. But these are learned things that it's taken me years to
Hmm.
learn. In the beginning, I had to be really careful with where I went. And I had to kind of get myself away from people that ate for fun. And I had to be really careful. And then as you get more into it and you learn those things, you get better at it and better at it. So it's, like Dakota said, and you've said before, Brooklyn, they're very learned behaviors. It's taken me years. And so, yeah, now I live this lifestyle and I love it. I can go on
Embraced
vacation.
it.
Yeah, throw a bikini on and I look good. I've got cute shorts, booty shorts, and those are fun. And it's just fun and it feels good to be healthy and be able to go. We went to a wedding on Saturday night and I was able to get out there and dance on the floor and it's
And feel
it's just fun.
confident about it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is
Yeah.
the confidence.
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, and when you haven't had that before or you've had your body take you down because of other things, you get to a point where you're like, I'm going to do it regardless. And to me, that just comes from deep inside. You've got to want it bad enough. So,
I like
yeah,
that. I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing that because I have had clients like they almost feel like they see you and they're like, well, she's arrived, so it must just be so easy for her all
no,
the time, and she probably just like goes back to like her normal life and doesn't track. And I feel like
no,
that's where I have a lot of clients that they're like, they'll ask me, they're like, well, do you still track? I'm like, of course I still track. I still have goals. Like, I like tracking. For me, it doesn't feel like an inconvenience. If it does start to feel like that and I start getting burnt out, I will take a day. I will take a day, but
Hmm.
I still follow my normal foods. And I'll just take a
Hmm.
day. I'm like, I don't want to look at my food tracker. But
Hmm.
if you have goals, like, honestly, tracking your food is like the least hard thing there is. Like,
If you have goals to lean out and you don't want to track your food, you're doing yourself a disservice, because how are you going to know where you're at and reach your goals?
It's
I'm
like,
sorry, but you have to have some kind of
Strategy.
mental something that you do, whether that is using a tracking app or eating the same exact meals and taking away things from. You have to have something to be able to reach your goals. There has to be something there.
well, it's kind of, I always say this to clients. I'm like, it's kind of like avoiding your bank account.
Yes.
If you don't check where your spending is going, you're never you're and then you're just like la 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 la, and then you look at your bank account
Yes.
after like 6 months, and then you're like Amazon, Amazon, Amazon,
Why
Target,
haven't
Target,
I
Target.
made, why
Yeah.
haven't I progressed,
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Oh, well, it's because of all this. And then you'll know immediately. But, like, if you don't do that with your food, and you're like, why am I up 10 pounds in the last 6 months? Well, I guess we don't know because you haven't been tracking your food. If you just start being accountable and tracking that, it literally gives you almost immediate, like, I know it's one of the first things, like, I do when I'm like, my weight's kind of getting out of control and I'm not fully being honest. I'm like, I'm going to start tracking exactly what I eat. Like, what I eat and what I
The
don't.
BLTs,
The
the
BL.
sugar-free sauces, all
Yeah.
the extra things that you don't track, that you don't think add up.
Yes.
If you find yourself in that group, write it down, take a picture of it, have some way that
Yeah.
you do take accountability for that portion. If it's too hard to put it into your tracker, if it like mentally is like, those things add up real quick. If you don't think it does, but man, when you're adding, the few BLTs, the sugar-free sauces to everything that do have a little bit of calories, if you're doing a lot of those, it adds up real quick,
That's
real
so
quick.
quick. Well, that's why,
Yeah.
like, for you, Mom, like, I like what you said. Like, it's just, it makes me feel confident. And I feel like if you want to be where you are, Mom, like, you have to be willing to do I personally don't think it's hard anymore. Initially, like, if you would have told me, like, 8 years ago or 7 years ago, or like that I was going to be tracking my food and lifting weights, like, I'd be like, well, that sounds a little excessive. But like, if you do want to be at like this next, I have a lot of clients coming to me. They're like, I want to be shredded. I want to be lean. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
or like they'll see my client transformations and like, I want to look like her. And I'm like, okay, then your actions need to match your
Yes.
expectations. Like, you have to put those actions into place. Like, you've got to track your food and you've got to be honest about what you're eating, like what you're actually eating. And you have to show up at the gym and lift. You've got to get your steps in. But like, if your actions aren't meeting your expectations, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, how can I start showing up? And this is where having a coach is really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of things, like, those aren't things that you can psychologically work through yourself. Like, you kind of need sometimes a coach to figure out, like, I'll have some clients that have really resistance against tracking. And I'm like, I get it. But then we start talking more and more, and I'm like, oh, this makes sense now. Like, you're resistant because you feel like when you start tracking your food, you can't have chocolate anymore. And I'm like, you can
Mm-hmm.
have chocolate. Eat
Have
the
the
damn chocolate,
chocolate.
right? Just like what Mom did. Like, you had the cake, you just pre-track it. So this is where having a coach comes into place. And this is why
Mm-hmm.
just doing it on your own isn't always the most helpful, because you might be the reason why you can't push to that next level. Because your coach, like, I know, Dakota, you probably see this for a lot of your clients. There's things you can see because you're out here and
Mm-hmm.
they're so in here that you're like, is this maybe why, like, you don't want to track your food? And then they're like, oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
boom, clicks,
Yeah.
and then they drop.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. I feel like this is not what we're planning on, but I really like the way that this went.
No, I think this was a really
Yeah, it was great.
helpful subject, and
Yeah, for sure.
it was a really helpful thing to talk about. So, anything else you guys wanted to add on top of like what we've discussed so far?
There was something I had that I was thinking, and I kind of forgot what it was. So if I remember it, but I don't think I will.
What about you, Mom? Anything else you wanted to add
No, I
for
just
women out there that like have these goals and they're like, I want to look like you, or I want to look like Dakota or Brooklyn?
Oh,
What
I
would
remember
you
what I was
tell
going to
them?
say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Choose your hard. What side of the coin do you
oh
want to
yes.
be on? Choose your hard. Do you want to be the person who is always, you put on a swimsuit and you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good in this. I can't wear this. And you choose your hard. And I feel like crap, I don't have energy. Or the hard where I'm going to the gym, I'm doing all these things. I'm taking the extra time to get in my steps to, track my food. But guess what? I feel confident and I feel amazing in my day to day. That hard to me is worth it every time.
It is.
Every time. So think about that. What does the flip side of it look like for you?
That's kind of
Like,
what you were saying, Mom. In your Dakota's way is
yeah,
very direct. Like choose your hard. Like
I love
I
that.
like that.
Choose your hard, because that goes with when you get older. You get older, your body's going to start breaking down. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have autoimmunes come to you. Are you going to let that take you? Or are you going to push through it, and are you going to get stronger? Are you just going to find those reasons to get up and keep going to the gym and keep tracking your food and working on your nutrition and being healthy? I love that saying, choose your hard, because as you get older, that really comes into play. You choose your hard. It is still, this morning I was tired. I didn't want to wake up and get out of bed. I was tired. I've been tired the last week. I don't know why. And I got up. I went to the gym. I put on some good music. I put on my reels that were motivating, and I kicked ass. I did my cardio. I did my heavy, heavy glute workout. It kicks my ass. Oh my, but my ass is building. And then it is, it's getting a little bit bigger,
it
but it's
is.
hard to build it because I've had to up my weights. And I choose my hard. I choose to be healthy and fit and work hard every morning. And it is hard. And I track my food because I love this lifestyle. I love what it does for me. I love being where I'm at in my life right now. I love being older and being one of the rare women that look like this. I mean, it's kind of cool. Not everybody can look and feel like this. And I get to go to
But
Vegas
not
and I get
everybody
to,
will do what you do to look like you, Mom.
That's, yes,
yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's true, but I will also argue that a lot of women are not willing to do what you do. And if you're
it is
willing to do
hard
it, it
sometimes.
will happen for you. You just have to be patient. Like a lot of
Be
women also
patient.
don't have the patience to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They're like,
It'll
Be
be
"Oh,
a
it's
couple
been
patient.
6 months.
weeks.
I'm not here." I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's taken you years to get where you are."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It'll
has.
be it'll be a couple weeks of like working with somebody and they'll say, I don't see any changes. And I'm like, patience. I'm sorry, but for this to
I
happen,
can't with that.
it takes a lot of time.
It takes
And so,
time.
that is something that I have to revisit with a lot of people. Be like, listen, I know you want to be here, but we have to learn to love ourselves right here where we are right now and keep with it and being patient and doing the things that we need to do so that when we get to where we want to be, we also appreciate it and still love ourselves and still
And
Well,
find the
also,
greatness in it.
might I add, they have to build habits and learn
Yes.
things in order to get to that next level. That's what people don't want to do. Like
Hmm.
they want to be where Mom is. They want to be where you are or me, where I'm at, Dakota. But they want to skip the hard part. They want to skip the shitty part that you have to learn and unlearn a lot of these bad habits that you've developed over the years. They don't want to do that, right? Or
But,
they think they can skip that and then just descend. And I'm like, that doesn't work. Like
well, and
you have to learn it.
I think that we've touched on something important here too is that you go through all that hard through that journey, but even when you are right here, it's still hard.
Yeah, it's still
It's
hard.
still hard.
There's still
Your
moments
some
heart,
days
that are
are
hard.
it just is different things and you still have
Mhm.
to, but you've learned how to handle some of those hard things better.
Yeah, you
And
navigate it better.
you've learned to build on that. And
Yeah.
when you come into these certain situations, you've learned to, just keep progressing through that versus having excuses or whatever it is.
And your
So,
self-talk is different too. And I think that's a big
yes.
part that
Oh,
women want to skip
huge.
over. And this is why I struggle a lot with these peptides and these GLPs is I'm like it might be helpful, but it will not fix your
Mm-mm.
poor self-talk. It won't fix your poor habits. It won't fix your lack of eating protein and enough calories throughout the day. Like you have to work on like this. Like it's like building a house. Like okay, if you want to get to like this version where like I'm just using you as an example, mom. If you want to get to where you are, mom, like I'll have clients that are like, I just don't understand how she looks so great, and like they almost get like angry at me about it. I don't know why they get so mad at me, but I'm literally like, no, seriously, my mom, it's taken her not a year, not months, not a year, but years of
Years.
doing this. Like, and she doesn't go out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night and drink wine with her friends. She doesn't do that. Like, you just don't. Like, you might go out and have a cookie, but like you're not gonna go out there and go fuck it all weekend. Like, so I think like it's really important to preference like if you want to get to where you've never been before, you have to be willing to do things you've never done before. You've got to hire a coach who knows what the actual hell they're doing. You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You've got to go through phases that just feel like, am I ever going to get there? Because
Yeah.
eventually you'll pop out on top and you'll be like, wow, I'm really glad I pushed through all that hard time. So, and I think for, well, that's what Dakota said, like, choose your hard.
I
Choose your
love that.
hard. Mom, you said that in a very, like, different way. But, like, yeah, if you don't want to go back to where you were, you just have to keep trying. So I think that's a really good way. Maybe that's what we talk about next week on the podcast in a little bit more depth of choosing your hard. And, like, we can talk about our own personal journeys of what was hard for us then and what's hard for us now. Because I think people see people like Dakota or you, mom, or like me, and they don't think that we struggle with cravings. They don't think we struggle with hunger. They don't,
Yeah.
I know that's funny, right? They don't think we struggle with motivation to work out. Like, they don't think we
Sometimes.
struggle with
Yeah.
negative self-talk. Like, they don't think we struggle with beating ourselves up. But the truth is we do. Every single one of us does, right? We all have those times. So I think what we can talk about next week is that. And I think that'll be a really powerful subject. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
so is there anything else you guys wanted to add
No,
before?
I've got a very full bladder right now though, so.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. All right, guys. Please like, share, follow on the podcast today. Please share with people that are, you feel like would enjoy listening to this. Thanks, you guys, for hopping on, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.